Today we're starting on our end walls. We've measured out a 7-foot doorway. We want it wide enough for our tractor to get through to dump off some compost and things like that. I'm going to be digging some holes for the posts to go in, putting some cement in there, getting everything nice and plumb, and taking it from there. Close one. So I made my center mark. Now I'm just going to measure off 3.5 feet on each side. So I'm just making a little mark in the dirt, so I know where to dig my hole for the posts. the header, we cut out a notch on each side of the post and put our 2x4 in, and then we're going to attach another 2x4 on the other side. So to make the greenhouse look a little cleaner from the front, we decided to put all the screws on the back side. So that's what we're doing here for the header board. We're just screwing through the back header board into the front. So these pieces of wood are for our vent system above the header. I notched out the areas just so they fit a little bit tighter, and they'll give a little bit more structure to the vent. So the vent will fit in from the inside. I'm just going to put a few screws in on the back side. I'm also going to have to shave off a little bit of the wood on the top to fit in the upper part of the greenhouse archway. So I just flipped this over. I'm going to square up the inside. I still need to drill a few holes and then put our screws in. So I just cut the ends off the vent area. I also trimmed off the bottom as well. It was sticking out just a little bit. So now I'm just going to go in and burn the ends just to be able to seal it. So now that we've made our frame, I'm just going to attach the vent and then mount it to the greenhouse. So now that I have the vent mounted, I'm just going to use some metal strapping for the top of the support beams. I'm going to go over top of the archway and just support it on each side. So today I'm going to be working on the front wall. I'm going to be putting in 2 support beams and then also the cross supports for the vent system. So I connected a temporary 2x4 from the opening of the doorway to the end of the greenhouse and measured my halfway point and then measured out the distance that I need for our vent system. Our vent system is 30 inches wide. I gave myself a little wiggle room on each side, and the marks I made on the 2x4 is going to indicate where those support beams are going to go. It also helped me with that mark I made. It's going to help me line up the archway, the angle of the archway. So the archway on this one was 25 degrees and this one up here was 30 degrees. So I cut our front wall support beams and also the angles of the archway. I just measured out the distance that I would want the vent to sit off the ground, which is 36.5 inches. And now I'm just going to connect the support beams. Because we decided to use the Shoshuggi bond method to seal the wood on our greenhouse, we also need to do that every time we cut the wood. So it adds a little bit more time and complicates things a little bit more, but I think it's going to be worth it in the end. I'm just going to be using some metal strapping for the tops of the support beams. So I had to take the screws out of the cross beams. I think it was because I cut the angle a little bit off. So I'm just going to readjust this support beam and then level everything, make sure everything's square. Now I just got to install the vent. So we can't do any more to the front of the greenhouse right now. Because we're going to be putting a sliding door, like a barn style door on the front, we need to wrap it first and then mount the sliding doors. So because of that, we're going to move to the back end of the greenhouse and put our vents in and our new door.